While every year a ton of AAA studios and games are released, I don't really think that there are any more important games than the big three, that being Call of Duty, Battlefield, and Halo. Each of these three game franchises are well established, have millions of fans, and have sold millions, if not billions, of copies over their lifespan. So when I say the AAA games industry is a joke, in a lot of ways I have to directly consider the three juggernauts of the industry. Now obviously there's plenty of other big games around now like Fortnite and Apex Legends and PUBG and plenty of others, but I think the yearly or semi-regular releases and not really a live service business model, I think of these three games. 2021 was a big year because we got new releases for all three of the game franchises in the same year for the first time since 2015. That is almost 7 years since all three games have been released in one calendar year. The worst part is that 2 out of the 3 games just fell flat on their face, and the third burned bright, but it did not burn long. So let's talk about each one and why they have really made AAA gaming a laughingstock. First, and probably the one that everyone is going to agree on, is Battlefield 2042. The game was a huge awful mess at launch, which really isn't a big surprise if you've been around Battlefield for really any length of time. The last good Battlefield launch that I personally remember was Hardline, and that was 2015. That game released mostly bug-free and playable on day one, but people never really played it. And people tend to forget how terrible the launches of Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4 and Battlefield 5 was pretty bad as well. But 2042 is just worse overall. The maps were terribly designed for all the game modes. The whole 128 player count thing just really didn't work out. It seemed to make matches a lot worse, not bigger and better as I'm sure EA had hoped. Then they completely took away the class system that Battlefield was known for since its inception and replaced it with hero specialists. What could go wrong? Then it came out that EA started with a Battle Royale originally and basically made Battlefield and instead for some reason go, oh no, we have to make Battlefield. It really seems like EA is just trying to absolutely murder this game. And don't get me wrong, I've actually really enjoyed Rush and Portal on 2042, but the game itself just released in such a weird, fundamentally flawed state. And this is a game with hundreds, if not thousands of people working on it and millions of dollars being poured into it. And it came out like this. I mean, it's super awful. It's quite embarrassing, really. Next is Call of Duty Vanguard. Now, I personally hate this game. I really do. Hated it from the get-go. I haven't really enjoyed a Call of Duty game in its fullest since probably like Black Ops 2. The time to kill in Vanguard is ultra fast. I mean, I couldn't walk 2 feet from cover without being deleted from the lobby. So ultimately, the only really viable strategy on Vanguard is to camp, and camp a lot. And it's a never-ending cycle. Camping begets camping. Cold War was actually a decent game and could have been the first step on COD's return, but then they released this game. Then we have Activision, who absolutely shafts the competitive Call of Duty scene by releasing an unfinished, broken game and then not having any official Call of Duty League competitions on launch. It makes no sense that a game like Call of Duty would not have a big tournament the weekend or maybe the weekend after its release to kickstart the interest in the game. I mean, what is Activision even thinking with this franchise? I mean, they're basically trying to kill it just like EA is trying to kill 2042. It makes no sense to me because Call of Duty used to be the biggest shooter released every year and I always used to look forward to it, but it's just sad to see it in this state. Lastly, I want to talk about Halo Infinite. This game was originally supposed to have released sometime in 2020, but was ultimately delayed until 2021, much to the displeasure of many people in the Halo community. But I'll tell you what, thank the great journey they did. Halo Infinite first released the multiplayer portion of the game, and it is the most polished, well-balanced, well-developed multiplayer experience of the year, probably the last 5 years. The game plays great, and there are hardly any gameplay bugs that affect kills and deaths. It is Halo, of course, so there are some visual bugs like ragdolls and getting stuck in walls, that sort of things, but I cannot emphasize how good the game plays overall. They also did Halo Esports a huge service by having huge events around the launch. HCS Raleigh was a great tournament with many great teams and an open bracket as well. There were some issues with some of the hardware, but overall it was a great event and really put Halo Esports back into the limelight right where it should be. Now with all of Halo's polish and balancing, it is still Halo, and I don't know if it's because I've been playing Halo since 2001, which is 21 years now, but Halo Infinite is the same formula done the same exact way with some extra window dressing in the form of weapons and abilities. I mean, there's got to be a reason the player count has fallen off so hard after launch, and I generally think it's because 343 built the most Halo of all time, if that makes sense. There isn't really anything new here for anyone to sink their teeth into. It's hard for a franchise like Halo to balance new ideas with old formula, but I don't know. know, it just seems like they could have done a bit more in this case. The only time I've really played Halo Infinite recently is when friends are over or they're on, and we just jump onto big team battle and see how many mongoose kills that we can get. It really seems this game, at least for me, is more fun to play casually and just sort of mess around than really anything else. It just blows my mind that AAA studios can continue releasing hollow, broken FPS games and people still keep buying them and still keep playing them. No amount of microtransactions or bugs can really stop people from playing certain franchises. Like, I enjoyed 2042 for what it's worth, but to defend it and say it's a good game and, oh, it's fine, the devs will fix it. How about we challenge multi-million dollar budget AAA titles to actually released finished? I mean, imagine how games would release if developers couldn't fix bugs through patching. You know, just imagine how that would work out. After all of my ranting, let me leave you on a high note. There are so many good indie developers making kick-ass first-person shooters or mods for our favorite old FPS games. Ready or Not, Ultra Kill, Dusk, SM2, and the Plutonium Project are just to name a few. The worst part about AAA gaming is that most people never really look deeper to find the games by smaller dev studios who actually care about the games and the communities around those games. That time, effort, and attention to detail is what makes a great game. That is really what separates AAA developers from the indie. Most of the time, the indie developer is in the industry for the love of the game itself, while AAA studios are more concerned with bottom line and profits. And don't get me wrong, profits are important because they have to pay their developers, feed their families, and so on and so forth. But releasing broken, buggy, terrible games is not ever going to make them the money that they actually want. Thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed the content and want more of it, then don't forget to leave a like and hit that subscribe button. I've got an awesome community Discord and we'd love for you to come join us. All right, everyone. Thanks for watching and I will see you all in the next one.